have 5 years left to get rich and make as much money as possible, or you're going to be left behind. And why do I say this? About a few years ago in 2022, something got made that changed the whole world and direction of the USA forever. And it was called ChatGPT. See, I remember someone told me about this little chat box that you can ask anything. I didn't think too much of it. And I remember the first time I used it, I was like, oh, I can ask it anything. And this was what it had its worst model. And I remember I just used it for spell check, grammar. Then I started using it every single day life. Started using it at work. And then boom, next thing you know, getting promotions. It was crazy, right? And then everyone started to integrate it into his everyday life. Fast forward 3 years later, what do you see now? You see companies attempting to implement it in every single part of their business. And they're saying, whoa. We don't need coworkers anymore. We don't need employees. Why we pay you $100,000 when we can just pay this chat box only a couple thousand, and it works 24/7. And what happened from there? Everyone's getting laid off every single month. Amazon just laid off 20,000. And I bet you they're going to lay off another 20,000 at the end of the year. Why? And they're saying because they're replacing the employees, the humans, with AI. And so what are you seeing now? You're seeing that with all these people getting laid off every single month, every single day, they're losing jobs, they're losing income. But the people up top, the rich, they're getting richer and richer and richer and richer and richer. It's becoming a K-shaped economy. What does that mean? That means everyone started right here. And then the poor, they're getting poorer and poorer and poorer. They're losing their job, the working class. They don't have assets. Everything's getting more and more expensive. So it's getting harder and harder for them to live. And their net worth is going down because they have to use credit cards to pay their bills. But they don't even have enough money to pay off the credit cards. So now they're in an endless loop of spending, debt. Negative network. And what about the other side of the aisle, the other side of the K? The rich, they're laying off people, so now they're getting more profit. Their company's making more money, so they're making more and more money. On top of that, they're buying assets. They're buying real estate that's going up in value every single year. They're buying stocks going up in value every single year. So they're getting richer and richer and richer and richer, but the poor are getting poorer and poorer and poorer. They can't even afford to buy a house because 20 years ago, one story my parents always tell me, back in the day in DC, a house was only 20,000. No one wanted to live there. Now it's 500,000. In a few years, it's going to be $1 million. Make sure to go buy a house. And what does that say? The people who bought the assets are always getting richer and richer, while the poor can't even afford to buy the house. They can't even afford to even pay the rent. So they're always playing catch up. And see, why do I say you only have 5 years? Where ChatGPT is right now, it's not even the best model yet. Well, it kind of is the best model, but they're talking about AGI. They're talking about making it so good that it can understand the human's comprehension, that you don't even need a single human, and they're going to automate every single thing. Tesla right now, they're making autonomous robots. So robots that can do the hard labor that humans can't do, and they're doing that 24/7. See, even if the ChatGPT or AI is 50% as good as a human worker, there's no reason why you need human workers, right? And so what I'm essentially attempting to say in this video is that you're going to be competing with an AI that can work 24/7. So if you don't learn how to use it now, in 5 years, you're going to be left behind. And you have to attempt to make as much money as possible now so you can buy assets. Because what are you seeing right now? This is not a political show. This is not a political channel. But you're seeing that Trump, what he does, he brings chaos into society, right? Good, bad, needed, that's not what I'm attempting to say. But what happens is he will throw tariffs, good or bad. Tariffs conversation makes the market go lower. So then the rich go in and buy the dips. 2 months later, everyone forgets about that tariff conversation. Now the markets go skyrocket. 2 months later, he threatens to go to war. Markets drop. So rich people go in, buy these assets. A few months later, we don't go into war. Markets go boom again. And he's been doing that over and over and over and over. And what does that do? People who have the assets are buying them now so that in the future, when they go up, they can constantly be making money. Because I will say, next 4 years, let's say Trump is not in office, a Republican is not in office, and a Democrat's in office. I will say when the Democrats are in office, you don't get a lot of volatility in the markets as you do with Trump. I personally don't think volatility is a bad thing because it gets you entry points. What do I mean by entry points? One of the biggest problems if you're attempting to enter the real estate market is that prices always go up and they never come down. So let's say you have a house. You want to buy a house in anywhere, Florida, whatever, right? It's $500,000. Ideally, you would want to wait for an entry point where houses go to $300,000 to buy that house. So you can ride it up until it goes back up to $500,000 again. And then you ride it up to $1 million because you got a good entry point. See, that is volatility. That means it went from $500,000 to $300,000. Now you have an entry point. Now you can ride it back up to $500,000 and ride it up even higher. You're buying low and selling high. See, the thing is, when there's no volatility, you have no entry points at all, even for the stock market, right? Some stocks like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, this is not financial advice, right? But you want entry points, volatility, so you can get in low and sell high and make decent profit. The money is made when you buy low, okay? So back to my original point. See, within these next 5 years, when AI gets so good, it's going to be hard for most people to get a job unless you're highly skilled, right? So, and what's AI going to do is, for example, right now, you're seeing that kids who are graduating college, see, they're not able to find jobs right now, and they're not able to make money. So they're having a hard time to switch economic class. They can never go from that fresh college grad to that new corporate America guy who eventually saves his money and then gets into the rich middle class, then gets into the rich class. See, they're never even able to switch the class. And why is that? Because they realize that AI is so good. Is like, why would I train this entry person to college student, 22, on how to do the role when I can just train an AI agent for cheaper the cost, and I know I'm going to have him for 20 years. See, imagine training a college graduate for about 2-3 years and he leaves the company. Now you have to train another person. So what they're doing instead is, hey, I'm going to just hire a senior guy instead of hiring 4 entry people. And that senior guy, he has experience, so I can see direct impact into my company right now to profit, right? And then what's going to happen, we're going to make a couple AI agent to make that one senior guy role more efficient. And so what you're seeing now is you're seeing that entry graduates are having some of the record low entry into the corporate America world. They have some of the lowest hiring right now. Entry level graduates, they can't find a job. But what you're seeing is that you're seeing 40, 50-year-olds re-entering into the workforce, getting tons of job. So what you're seeing is that you're not really going to see economic progress with the young people. You're just going to see the people who are richer and richer and richer constantly getting rich. If you already have a house right now, if you already have stocks right now, if you're already invested, if you already have a high-paying job, you're good. You're going to be great. It's going to be amazing for you. But for them kids, the 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds who don't have any money, who are broke, who can't get experience, who can't get the corporate job, if you don't learn how to use AI right now, if you don't start attempting to make as much money now, in the future, you are going to be cooked. You are going to be replaced by AI. So learn how to start investing in assets. Learn how to start upskilling right now so you have skills that will keep up with the times in 5 years, and focus on making as much money as possible right now so in 5 years you can save yourself. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to check out this video right here.